Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you so much to connect with us. Hi, Pamela, once again. Thank you so much for your time. This is actually the first transmission or live. We're doing it in English. I mean, so this is like the first time that I'm doing a live that I have to speak in English. So it's also being a little bit kind of like, I feel like nervous because it's you, and now I have to speak on my second language. So I'm like on kind of a pickle here. So I'm really excited that you accepted to be part of this live, to give us your time to be part of this session, that it's also going to be available for everyone because it's open, it's live, and that's the magic of technology. And it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, Pamela is in the US and we're in Peru, and everyone also who can have access to this via Facebook or YouTube can get access from any part of the world. So let's take advantage of technology. And also because when I first came to you, it was like a sign from God or from destiny, and we were all aligned. And I really appreciate your openness in order to to believe in this Peruvian. And I really thank you for that. And I'm pretty sure many good things are going to be challenging for us, and great things for you, and for coaching skills, and for HR professionals for this so challenging and so anxious 2021. So thank you, Pamela, for being here.
Angie, thank you so much. It is truly, truly a pleasure. And if I could just say hola, buenas noches to all of my Peruvian friends and my Spanish speakers. And I know I probably messed that completely up.
But you did good. You did very good.
So I am just really honored to be here, and so honored really that you asked. And what's interesting is, you were talking about, the distance, and in Thomas Friedman's book, The World is Flat, he really talks about how more connected we are today than we've ever been before. And so that's what makes this so powerful and so impactful. So I'm truly honored to be here and to talk to you and to your audience about coaching, specifically coaching in the HR leader, HR professional. I think it's so timely and extremely needed in the time that, we're living in across the world. So thank you.
Totally. Yes. And thank you once again. And actually, what you said is something that many people I don't know, they may be asking themselves, okay, what does coaching have to do with HR? I mean, there are like many reasons that why this skill is very important for HR professionals. However, many of us might not have it that clear. So we need people like you with your wisdom in order to put us through like what besides coaching, like what are other skills, like people skills, that HR professionals must have in order to succeed and in order to help business succeed. So with that, please, I will ask you to tell us about your why. I know your why. I know why you're now I love the word powerhouse. And I admire you for what you do, the way you communicate. You really, like, when I saw you on HRCI on this webinar about like less than a month ago, you connected with me right away. And I said, this is the person that I need for my community.
I need you. I need some Angie in my life is what I needed. Oh, no, it was truly, I will tell you, there's so much, and I know you don't even have enough time to talk about all of it, but it used to be that coaching was reserved for leaders and executives. And honestly, that was my introduction into coaching. And I was an executive. I worked for the Society for Human Resource Management, as you all know, as SHRM. And I was afforded a coach, and I fell in love with the process of having real conversations with people about me. And it was so powerful and was so impactful. And I ended up, working with two more coaches during my time at all those years at SHRM. It's part of what makes me do what I do now. And I'll tell you, when I think about my why, I am, all about helping people, and no one gets to where we are without the help of someone else. And the way that coaching works, and the reason it's so powerful, is because the conversation is all about you. It is not about the experience of the person that you're speaking with, because then that would be mentoring, where you sit down and you listen to someone else's experience and how they would handle your problem. That's mentoring. It's not therapy, because we're not trying to diagnose anything. It really is a conversation about between two, sometimes more people, about what you want, what your goals are, that leads you to a place where you want to go. So when I'm training people to coach, the one thing I try to get them to do is to visualize what they're doing. The coach is trying, you're the coachee. So all of you in my audience, you're the coachee. You're going somewhere. My job is to help you identify exactly where you want to go. It's like you want to cross the river to the other side, and my job is to help you get to build the bridge to get there, but most importantly, to help you identify what the other side actually looks like. So it's a partnership where you're rolling up your sleeves and you're doing the actual physical work. And my job is to sort of be the foreman to help you identify what sort of blueprint you want to put together to create the bridge once we've identified where it is you want to go. And it can be very fun. It's usually often empowering. There are some people who do get emotional, because think of the last time someone actually sat down in a
took the time, right? Yeah. Took the time.
Mm-hmm. Took the time to just focus on you. It was probably a relationship that you're in now, or one that you had, or maybe one that you're looking for. Somebody sat down and just asked, Angie, tell me how you're doing. What do you want to focus on? This is all about you, and just asking really impactful questions. And I'll wrap this part up by saying my why is about helping people. When I got my own breakthroughs, because being an executive is not easy, but neither is being a staff person, neither is being a middle manager, neither is being a board member or professional, specifically in human resources, where everything that you do is about helping people. And so it's about helping people. I want you to achieve your goals, but more than that, I really want people, especially HR leaders, because I was an HR professional for many years, to first connect with their own why. It's not always I'm a people person, and so I would sometimes you have some real goals.
Sometimes we forget about our own selves, and we're an employee too of the company. We have feelings. We need someone to take care of us. So maybe we take care of our own stuff.
Yes, we have to, but we forget. We're the last ones getting training, the last ones going out and getting developed, the last ones putting the mask on ourselves and getting the oxygen that we need to recover from a long day, a long week, a long month, even a long year, like the one that we've had in 2020. And it's not over yet, right? So we have to replenish and refresh ourselves.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love those words that you said.
Yeah.
Coaching, it's all about you. It's about the person that we're trying to help, either in pairs, right, like in two or maybe three. I don't know if there's a magic number or formula, but also coaching is a partnership. I love that too. So, and I can totally agree when you said that your why is to help others, to help others succeed, to help others recognize their own ways to be better, to kind of do something better for your own self and for someone else, right? When you're good with your own mind and soul, then obviously this will help you help others. And those, as you said, sometimes HR, we forget about that we need someone also that actually can help us. I mean,
Mhm.
we're there and we need to raise our hands and say, please, I'm here also. I mean, I'm a human.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, I
I'm
will tell
here.
you. Yeah, how I started this journey was I got a call from an HR person and she was looking for help. And she said, Pam, I want to learn how to coach. Because at that time, obviously I was certified. And she said, I'm trying to find the right program. And so we looked together, she would go out to the internet, we'd go out to the internet together, then I'd go out, and we couldn't find anything that was specifically geared to what she was looking for as an HR leader trying to learn how to coach people internally. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, well, Pam, maybe this is something you should do. And we kind of paused, and I was just like frozen.
Mhm.
Wow, you're right. I could do this, right? I love teaching and speaking. And it's not rocket science as much as people would have you to believe. It is not that difficult. And I know we'll talk in the future about what it is more, but it's not a difficult skill to learn. And my job as the facilitator, my group's job, is to just help you. I kind of think of it as like the Karate Kid,
Uh-huh.
wax on, wax off. And it's just teaching you how to use the skills that all HR professionals need to have in different, unique, creative, and fun, I think enjoyable ways to help people have their breakthroughs. So absolutely.
Breakthrough, it's a nice word, especially when, and some words that we use, it's an aha moment, an aha moment instead of a wow moment, an aha moment.
A moment. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, as you said, sometimes you need someone else to like give you or ask you some questions that you probably never thought. And maybe the people you love, they might not know, or put those, look, those are like trigger questions that actually like says, okay, now no one ever asked me this, and now I saw the light,
Right.
like this is it. So and that's priceless. That moment is truly priceless, and not many people usually uh, get so fortunate about you know getting to that moment. And it's
Yeah.
a process, and it's also a process of opening up to the other one and be vulnerable in front of someone else.
Oh, it is. It is. And I will tell you, Angie, it is a skill you can use not just at work. I mean, like, it's like your degree or your certification. Once you get it, no one can take that thing away from you. So you use it everywhere. I always joke about using it at the grocery store or at the bank or when I'm at the post office. I use it with family members and friends. And sometimes, most of the time, it's just I'm not intentionally trying to coach them. I'm just asking a series of very powerful questions to help them get to a place where they say they want to go. And it's just that simple. It can be so easy. And that's what I have enjoyed teaching people for the last 5 years, is that formula for getting there. Now I've had to fine tune it, obviously, but there is a real simple formula for getting to where you want to go.
And also, a question that I want to ask you is that you've been in HR, so you've been there. You know how that works. You know how all the ups and downs, and the good and bad, and the evil and angels, like everything, all the demons. Because to tell you the truth, I mean, it's not all like wonderful. I mean, before COVID, inclusively. So now I'm pretty sure that because of this person that actually like said, why not don't you do this, and that's actually something that say, hey, of course I can do that, and I love helping people, so this is like the perfect way to work, to do
Yeah.
what you actually love and enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So right now you have this like you put everything together, like the coaching skills, your business skills, and
Mhm.
also your experience as an HR professional, and kind of like put it on a blender or something, and
Yeah.
like had like a magic formula or whatever that actually helps people, like guide them to like through a process, and that they can apply to any situation as an HR leader, HR professional. It doesn't matter, maybe they're not a manager. I mean, they could be a specialist, they could be
Mhm.
a partner, and they can still need those kind of skills, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what's so interesting is I've had a number of PhDs, EDs, therapists, licensed certified individuals who come through the program, and they are so skilled, so talented, and they walk away from the program, and most of them will say, when I say all of them will say, "Oh my gosh, is this that easy? I don't have to come up with anything. I just have to listen and tuned and asked really powerful questions." It was just too easy for them. And they they've talked, and I've some of them come back and they train in the program, and they have said that they will use they have a choice, and a lot of times they'll choose to coach versus to being their therapist in a session. It just depends on what the individual is needing, but they really enjoy this, having the skill to coach individuals and to see, those light bulbs go on and having those aha moments when they are working with someone. And there are the skill, I would tell you, one of the skills that's needed, there are several, but a couple of the skills, one is most important is being emotionally intelligent or self-aware.
Okay, self-aware emotional intelligence.
Yes,
Okay.
emotional intelligence, specifically being self-aware, because this is not at all about you and your knowledge and your skills and your abilities. If we were to have a conversation about what I wanted you to do, that might be me as a consultant, and it might be me as a mentor, but that's not Pam as a coach. Pam as a coach is listening and asking questions without applying my knowledge or skill set about your situation to help you fix the situation. I'm not the fixer. That's what I did as an HR leader. It is not, I am not the fixer. I am here to be aware of the environment, aware of what you need, aware of how I can support, and then managing my emotions so that I can help you manage your own. The other thing I think is important and really critical is being able to listen. And so there's an acronym that we use in coaching and coach training. It's WAIT, and it stands for Why Am I Talking? As an HR professional, I have to tell you what you need to do. I feel compelled to show you what's missing and to demonstrate and to empty myself out on a table every single day of my skills. In coaching, as an HR professional, I'm listening intently to what it is you want. So if I am talking more than 80% of the time, I am not coaching. I'm doing something else, probably mentoring or counseling, but you're not coaching. Should be listening 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time asking some really powerful questions.
Interesting.
I teach non-directive coaching because I think if I can just teach you non-directive, when you have the need to be directive, it becomes easier as opposed to that blended non-directive and directive that we often use.
Awesome. That's great. So it's a self-awareness, emotional intelligence, 80%, 80-20. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
something that we know. Otherwise, you're doing something else, maybe a good conversation.
Yes. Yes.
and and that's, for example, that's something that I don't think I'm going to be a good coach, but I like to listen, but my husband doesn't say that I listen to him. So now I think I need to, like, now from now on, 80-20,
There you
80-20.
go.
Because
You
it
know
will
what? He's
help me
gonna think
also in my
something.
personal life. I
Yeah.
mean, my husband already told me, please listen to me.
And you know he's gonna think something's wrong when you don't say anything, right?
Yes.
He's gonna say, "Angie, what's wrong? You're not listening." Yes, I am. I'm listening. I'm not talking. That's what's happening. But no.
Yes, totally. Yes. So, well, we always learn, and we need to have someone else's wisdoms or eyes or
Yeah,
voice in order to say, I'll try something different.
that
This
is
might make
correct.
my life easier and better.
That's it.
Okay, so I was telling, well, you're an MBA also, so business skills for HR. I mean, we've heard everything about HR as a business partner. Now it's everything about human. It's about, like, relationship with people. It's about, staying safe. Just as I told you, I just came back for at WeWork. So many people who usually, like, see me on live sessions. This is not my
Yeah.
usually my common normal background. I'm at WeWork right now, and I love it. And there's no one. It's just myself and Samantha right behind me. So something also very interesting is regarding, like, I think people should think about what they want, think about how they interact with others. As a professional, it's all about business partner, it's all about connecting to people. Is it mandatory in this case for people who start on HR skills as coaching, um, to be aware about business? I mean, we know that HR professionals, it doesn't matter what kind of position they might have on that department, they
Yeah.
have to get, like, this intention or integral or visionary as a business.
Yeah.
But is it mandatory? Is it, like,
Mhm.
as I call them, like, baby steps?
Yeah, yeah, I would say, Angie, it is. I think it is important to understand your business. And here's why. As an external coach, when I'm coaching executives, and most of my clients are part of the C-suite or part of the board or something like that, one of the biggest impediments to me supporting is the culture. Like, I need to really understand the culture. It may take a minute, even if I am familiar with the business framework. It still may take a minute for me to understand the culture of the organization. Internal coaches, HR professionals, they are the culture. I mean, HR professionals are the important change agents needed to help create sustainability from a coaching experience. So understanding the business, your business model, but more importantly, your culture. And there are lots of definitions about culture. The simplest one that I could come up with for people to understand culture is that culture is simply how you do things. Our households have culture. There's a Peruvian culture, right? There's a US culture. There's the corporate culture. There's our team culture and our level cultures. It's how we do things. And those things are grounded and rooted in our performance management systems, our organizational structure and hierarchy, our communication strategies, our onboarding and our hiring processes, the way that we run our meetings. I mean, all of those things are important aspects of the culture that the internal leader, the HR leader, is already aware of. They don't have to come up to speed on anything. They know the individual that's going to be coached. So it just makes the engagement much easier. So I think that's an incredible, important link to being being successful
Of
as an
course.
internal coach.
Okay, so business, culture, and now with culture, having that, like, in mind. Nowadays, we cannot leave aside diversity and inclusion.
Oh,
I mean, and that's a topic that you love because I saw you, and
yeah.
I really loved it, how you like. I fell in love with you when I saw you talking about diversity and inclusion. So, um, does how important it's for an HR professional, and especially someone who wants to develop and and become an internal coach or external coach, however we want to call it, but to be like aware, right, as
Mhm.
of these topics. I mean, no matter what country you might be in,
Yeah.
but this is so important. Like, is that something that it's like a pillar or something interesting on your program, on your coaching sessions?
Oh yeah, it really and truly is, and the reason why I approach it from a culture perspective is because and again, Thomas Friedman's book, The World Is Flat, it is just too easy to engage people on a regular basis who are different, who come from different backgrounds and different experience levels, different. I can have the same go to the same college, university, and still have a different type of experience. And it's that experience that organizations are dying to tap into, that bring diversity of thought into the organization. And so I'll get challenged from time to time by leaders who say, you don't have to have people who look different in order to have diversity of thought. That is true, and you can have success. However, studies show, it has been proven that when you have people who have different backgrounds, different experiences, who are gender different, who are racially and ethnically different, who have different religious and non-religious experiences, and all of those things that make us unique, when you bring those individuals together and you work through conflict, you are exponentially way more successful than your homogenous counterparts, shall we say. And it takes courage to do that. I had one leader say to me recently, oh, I don't worry about diversity. I focus on inclusion. Well, that's like trying to learn how to swim without water. It's like, you got to get in the water if you want to learn how to swim. I can tell you techniques, but you got to get in the water. You have to diversify. There's another really, really good book that I always encourage people. It's sort of, if I can say, it's like my personal playbook when it comes to cultural communication. Uh,
Which one is it?
it's called The Culture Map by Erin Meyer. It's The Culture Map by Erin Meyer, a must read, especially for people who are in human resources and who are really trying to embark upon this diversity, equity, and inclusion, because she talks about it from a communications perspective. And I'm going to tell you, it just changed the way I framed diversity, equity, inclusion from a training perspective, a communication perspective, a culture perspective, and just engaging people in general. It's a great read.
Awesome. Well, we got two books. We got homework. My God, it's almost Friday. Anyway, so well, we have Carla Salas. She's from Bolivia,
Yeah.
and I something that I learned, for example, while I lived in the States, is that my name usually it's pronounced Angie.
Yeah.
In the U.S., right? And I said my name is Angie. It's Angie. It's Angie. Anyway, so this Carla Salas, she's part of the HR community, and we as HR professionals in Latam, we are so like we are unique and we are similar at the same time. We speak Spanish, however, we have our own cultures, our own things that are like very particular to each country, to each city of that country, and that's amazing. I mean, that's so we're so lucky to have this kind of diversity also in the community, but in the world. And companies need to actually be really aware about it, and we need to, as HR professionals, the ones who are in that area, they have the opportunity to make small and later big changes regarding these kind of topics.
Absolutely. It is. And it is important. I will tell you, just there was a couple of years ago, I was on this mission and I really wanted to learn Spanish. And so I still have a Spanish instructor and she checks in on me every now and then. But I will tell you, it was really challenging, not because the language is that difficult. It was just the way of learning. And I was so rooted and grounded in my English way or American English way of speaking and communicating that I had to begin to, is what she said, you got to unlearn some things. And the other thing is you got to immerse yourself. And I think that is so important. If you really are going to take seriously this space of coaching and diversity, equity, inclusion, you can't just take it from a textbook perspective. You really have to immerse yourself and you got to unlearn some things and not, be so easily offended and know that people are going to make mistakes. I mean, all of the mistakes that I would make when I was learning and my cohorts were learning, we were just, we'd say something, go, oh, did I say that right? We were constantly checking ourselves. And I think the country and the world is kind of still in that, are we saying it right? And I think we'll get past this. But it means we got to still keep trying, still keep making mistakes, keep forgiving ourselves. But we have to keep, as Disney would say, you got to keep moving forward. You just have to keep moving forward.
Of course. We always show respect if we're doing, for example, in my case right now, I haven't spoken English I lived in the States for 7 years, but I've been in Peru for 12. So It's not like I speak English every day. Right. So it's I need to, I need to keep up and, get, once again, the practice, because usually it's human to forget. So anyways, and let's get 5 coaching, not skills that will facilitate or make a better coach, or a person, an HR person, an HR professional should have these 5 skills to be a good HR coach. You said, for example, self-awareness, emotional intelligence.
Yes.
What else do you want to add?
I would add
listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say also being an empathetic or a compassionate person, really and genuinely. And this is where HR, they do such a phenomenal job, is they really care. I mean, it is truly the heartbeat of the organization. And it frustrates me when CEOs don't recognize that if, the finance department is the left hand of the organization, then HR has to be the right hand. Because if you don't have any money, you can't have a mission. But if you don't have people, you can't have a mission either. And you certainly can't make money. So you really have to think of the value that HR brings, and being the heartbeat means that the organization can be empathetic and compassionate and build that type of culture. So I think that's another skill as well. And then I would also say, and these are kind of tied together, is you have to, maybe it's focused, but it's more about being a goal setter. Really become extremely skilled at goal setting, because coaching is at the core of it, helping people set and achieve goals. Set a target, I'm going to help you get to the target. Set another target, I'm going to help you get to the target, which means that there has to be a level of accountability that you help them to create. So absolutely. Yeah. And I like Javier said, a passion to serve. Yeah. Right. You gotta love that. And it's sometimes we bury our heads as HR leaders and say, oh, I'm not supposed to be feeling, oh, I'm not supposed to be a people person. Yeah, we need passionate people to raise their heads and to be an advocate for the other people in the organization who may or may not be in leadership.
I also love that word, advocate. Yes. There's so many good words that actually give meaning to what we do.
Yes.
Those words are part of our culture as HR professionals. Okay, you got to have this because it kind of empowers you and reminds you you need to, to do something else, not
It
just
really
like.
does. Yeah. But
Mhm.
I think in the middle of that, and probably if I moved any of these like to number one, my number one would be the courage. You have to have courage to lead. You have to. I
And to
mean,
stand up for yourself and for others.
because when you stand up for people, you are like standing at the front
Pamela,
line.
you're gonna make me stand up.
It's like, get ready because you're going to take a lot of bullets. And no,
Yes.
and you
Well,
do.
actually, sometimes that happens. Right. Either you
Right.
take the credits or you don't.
Yeah. And you have to be okay with either or,
Hmm.
okay, I didn't get credit for that. That's okay. We still move forward. We're still doing the right thing. Being the conscious of the organization is tough. Oh my goodness. It is really tough to do, but you got to have the courage to stand up to what's wrong, to help people do what's right, to hold them accountable. And I even had a leader. I've gotten promoted in just about every job I've ever had. And it wasn't because I was necessarily the best person, but I was
So,
courageous, standing up and holding people accountable. And when I left one organization, the CEO said, "Pam, who's going to hold us accountable?" And I'm like, well, heaven help you if you needed me to hold you accountable. I'm out. I'm peace. I'm gone.
you're like,
About
see
it.
ya.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, actually, Javier Salinas, he is also from the HR community. He is a person who I admire. I look up to him. He is a very experienced HR professional. He has worked for Walmart for for many years. So he has a good culture background as like a good Walmart, Citibank. For me, like I haven't had the luck to be part of those, but I get these pieces of information from people like Javier, and I think that those are really great experiences to work for. I mean, obviously, like not every single day was like 100%
Right.
perfection, but this help you like to nourish you as a HR professional, and this like comes with you along the way.
Yes. Yes. I actually did some training for Walmart a couple of times over the last years. And what's so interesting is too, when you think about coaching and you think about our languages, and being, whether we're bilingual or multilingual, coaching is like learning a different language. And I had one of my
Wow.
recent graduates tell me that. She's like, oh my gosh, she went through the training twice. And she said the first time I was just trying to get my footing. She said, but it was like learning a different language. And I can so appreciate that, because now you can see things from different points of view and different perspectives, and you have different tools from which you can communicate with broader audiences, right? So we're not just, focused on one thing. We can actually do multiple things and really achieve our goals for our organization more broadly.
Interesting. Okay, it's something that now we are talking. Sometimes, I mean, I did that myself too. I wasn't in that situation more than one time. I mean, maybe two or three times, that I felt like I was weak in an organization as an HR professional. So
Mhm.
now that I'm on the other side of the desk, not as an HR manager, I'm not in the corporate business. I'm as a consultant, and I have my company. Um, I think I need to give tools to the people to do and not feel, or maybe they feel like the same way I did, and it's not easy to stand up for yourself, to
Yeah.
stand up and gain credibility for others, because people sometimes HR, okay, so okay, what do you do? Are you more like I don't know, administrative, or do you do payroll? You do I don't know, headhunting or selection or whatever,
Mhm.
and they don't see us as a as a great piece to fill
Right.
the puzzle, to get the puzzle like all done. So I think it's very important, as you said, to help
Mhm.
professionals, because if HR is good, everyone, I mean, naturally, will be good and the business will be great and everyone will win.
Yes, yes. And this is a way to differentiate your brand. When you learn how to coach, you not only help the organization achieve even higher returns on that investment in your talent, but you are growing and learning as a professional. And so you've added a new language to your skill set that can save the organization a great deal of money. You have helped the organization achieve higher accountability. You can get quicker results because of your familiarity with the culture. Give access to people who are non-leadership. You save them so much money. I mean, the investment, you get the return on the investment 6 to 8 times the cost of the investment of the coach training in the organization when the organization leverages it. And so you now have, a new skill set that you can pick up and take with you when you go away from that organization. And now you can add value to the bottom line and to the top line. I mean, there is no end in the amount of a return that just keeps getting added to the coffers of the organization's financial business aspects of the business. It is just something that just keeps paying you, your brand, your reputation over and over and over again. And all you did was create a space where people could talk and you could help them achieve their goals. It's extremely powerful.
Wow, that's amazing. And your brand, it doesn't have to be only on LinkedIn. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're good on LinkedIn. Your company needs to believe that you are actually a brand for them inside your company. Right. Yeah. So, and I know your latest book, it's about branding. So can you tell us a little bit more about it, please?
Yeah, I sure will. So it's called Think Like a Brand, and it's really focused on individuals who want to brand themselves inside the organization. I did that in most of my organizations, and I had the biggest challenge in my last organization when I became a brand and I didn't even realize it, but how to be successful in doing that. And first defining what a brand is. And I define branding or how a brand as, the emotional impression that people have as a result of interacting with you. And you decide, you create your own narrative. You don't leave that up to someone else. And that's the first thing that a brand does. It decides the emotional impact it wants people to have. You think about Campbell's soup and you go, good. You might not even know anything else, but good. You see the steam coming off of that bowl of soup. And you're going to feel all warm inside, and it's just so perfect for this, time of year in many parts of the world. So, what's the emotional impact that you want to leave with people as a result of them interacting with you? And so we talk about that inside the book. And I look at different brands like Steve Harvey and Beyonce and some of those kinds of brands, Mike Strahan and others.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I know she's not in there. She's not in the book, but she would be a really good role model and an example of what it means to brand yourself in a positive way and have success inside the organization. And so I use it as a framework for my own coaching clients most of the time. And it is just a way of rethinking how you want to show up and controlling the narrative about yourself.
And that's amazing. And actually, I remember that we have a space on HR Opportunity. It's called Recursos Humanos, Conversaciones que Inspiran, like inspirational conversations. And Javier Salinas, he was the first one to do this live session with me. And he talked about, because I asked him were those those skills that actually made him, or that actually are good for him in his development as an HR professional. He said that internal networking, to do internal networking, not outside the company, but internally.
Yeah.
And that actually, like I said, that makes a lot of sense.
It does. Building those relationships, that social capital is so important. I tell you, even as an executive, I was able to pull on that capital of relationships that I had built in the organization and around, the organization in terms of our volunteer leaders, our members, our staff members at all levels. Just treating people with respect is an easy way to build some of that social capital, but the relationship building is important. The networking in organization is so incredibly valuable, and it just adds dollar signs to your brand. It really and truly does. And I will tell you, when I first struck out on my own, my mom, I never forget when I got my first job, and I swear, I think she thought that I would not ever be successful in anything, but she said, promise me one thing. And I'm like, yeah, what, in my little teenage mind? And she said, just promise me you won't say no. Even if they ask you to file, she said, pay attention to what you're doing, read what you're doing. There's something valuable there. There's something valuable in everything they ask you to do, but only if you see it as something valuable. And I never forgot that. And I honestly think that was the key to me being able to do what I do today. Followed by a string of, preceded by a string of promotional opportunities. It's someone would say, Pam, are you willing to? Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'll do it. And I ended up doing a lot of things before I achieved a degree that people who held degrees were able to do. And I really am proud of those achievements, but only because I was willing to take some risks, not say no, to stretch myself, to grow in creative ways, to get skills that allowed me to be an asset to the organization. So absolutely.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we have nice advice from your mom. Actually, my mom had the same advice for me.
Yeah.
Well, she still does, and my dad too.
Yeah.
Well, Gisela Enriquez, she is from El Salvador,
Hey.
and it's everything about personal brand, but outside and inside, right? Something that I see on LinkedIn is that people make it I don't know. I don't know if they like, I don't know if you have the same feeling, but in sometimes in Latin America, it says, well, they're good on their personal brand, or they do or post, pictures and everything, but maybe inside the company, if you ask for, about their job, they might say it's not that good. So obviously there's some kind of disconnection between the external and internal way employees and your stakeholders see you. So that's very important. And on your regarding all this, your job experience, I know you also, well, you have different training programs, and I like the name of one of them, and I would love if you could explain to us how you can become, how did you came up with this idea of HR becoming the CEO of your role?
Yes.
I love that name.
Thank you. It came out because I remembered I was traveling, and I often after I do a keynote or a workshop, we'll have some one-offs with some individuals. And this lady came up to me. She was an HR professional, had been in the company for, teens of years, and she was in tears. Now, there are all these people standing around us and they're waiting to talk, but she was in tears because she just didn't feel like she had a voice. And my heart went out to her. And I just, I remember telling her, who told you that you don't have a voice? Who told you that, you're not credible, you're not strong, that you're not efficient, you're not effective, that you haven't, who told you that? And why do you believe it? And it reminds me, she reminded me at that moment that sometimes we get in our roles and we allow other people to define for us the box that they want to put us in. And our job as HR leaders is really to break through and to redefine what HR is. And HR is this, we are the CEO of the talent in the organization. That's what makes us valuable. That's what allows us to add to the bottom line. And so I just felt like we needed an uplift, and we have to reshape how we see what it is that we do. And if we don't see it, other people aren't going to see it either. So you can be the HR leader or professional, or you can be the CEO of your role. Whatever that role is, you're the CEO of that role. That means you have command and
confidence.
Yes, over that. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that title. That's why it caught my attention. And obviously you have to believe in yourself
Yes,
to
ma'am.
also acknowledge all, all the opportunities that you have in order to grow, to continue grow as a professional, but to continue growing. However, it's also you need to start. You need to start with something. I mean, if you decided it's someone from HR, everyone who's listening, like if you accept it, because no one, I guess, no one like actually like ask you or mandatory to get that job. Like you accepted the job. There's a responsibility not only because you have like functions to do or goals to achieve, but
Mhm.
also to put that cape on and be
Yes.
like the HR hero or HR professional, but for the business, for your own sake, for your own good, and for the people in that company. And as you said, I mean, it's about personal branding internally. It's about self-esteem. It's about acknowledge your skills and stand up for yourself and gain visibility, gain respect. So there's a lot of things. I'm just making there's so many things to do, but it's important. I mean, I think everyone needs to do it little by little
Yes.
and get help. Ask for
Mhm.
help in order to continue the same path and
Yes.
not just and not give up.
Yes. And I think part of that help comes in you getting your own coach, getting someone who can help you on this journey. People who take my program experience coaching, and sometimes it's the first time they have experienced working with a coach. And they see how powerful it is now as they're going through the program and coach them through their own emotional intelligence and helping them identify what their goals are. So it is an important part of our growth and our own development is to get someone that can help journey this path with you.
To have your buddy right next to you, like to have
Yeah.
someone that holds your hand and say, "You're
Yep.
not alone. Let's go through it together."
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Sometimes HR could be a loner. So, I mean, we cannot. I mean, we can find ways to do something more dynamic and more powerful for that HR professional who is active in that role,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I like what you said, Angie. Angie, is you said that sometimes HR can be a loner, and that's sad because we shouldn't be. But like
Mm-hmm.
you said, we need to have a network, and we need to build camaraderie and relationships with other people so that we don't stay down in a place that because we deal with so many other people's problems every single day that having those partnerships can help lift us up. So absolutely.
Definitely. And it's a roller coaster of emotions, I guess, when you go that way. Javier, hi Javi. Personal brand starts with how you see yourself,
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
others see you as a consequence.
Yes.
Interesting. For
Mhm.
example, maybe Javier doesn't know that I admire him, but I do. I love you, Javier, and I admire the way you are. You connect with everyone,
Yeah.
and maybe I love to say I love you in Latin America is like big words, but but in case Javier knows what I feel for him, so
Yeah.
people might say,
Oh no.
Anyways, well, well, we have an announcement that I wanna share with some the people who are connected, but also I wanna. There's our community is waiting for this Tuesday, 8th, which is actually a holiday for many countries in Latin America, but we don't care. We don't care. So it's about nourishing and get your wisdom. So and taking advantage of you.
Yay.
so so we're basically, as I told you, I mean, the moment I approached to you via LinkedIn, it's the fact that well, as you know, I prepare professionals for the HRCI certification, and one of the ways to get that recertification, it's one of them. There are like so many ways to get a certification,
Yeah.
but one of them is to do volunteer work.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that these HR professionals that come, like I teach them, I guide them, I facilitate this course, and I know they have more to give.
Yes.
I mean, and I want to, with you, obviously, give this opportunity for them to help others.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a world, especially in HR, that
Mm-hmm.
we need to connect with others in a different way. We need to help others, especially young professionals. And also, it's a win-win situation because you develop coaching skills, you also get your recertification credits, and you can earn up to 30 hours. So it's, good thing. And there's nothing more, I don't know, beautiful than to know that you did something good for someone else.
Yes, yes, yes. And I am so excited. When we talk next week, I want to be able to share, just some skills, some easy skills to help your audience understand how powerful they can be as a coach, as an HR coach, an internal coach. And the other thing I want to say is the skills that you learn, just the ones that we're going to go through next week, you'll be able to apply those in any situation. You're just no longer limited to doing the work in HR. You can be an internal coach, you can be an external coach, you can do both, right? You can do a number of different things. And so it really just opens the door. I think we're just going to roll out the red carpet and extend the opportunity to you to just come on in, and just sharpen some skills for most of us, because I think HR gets it, but learn just some tweaks to skills that you may already have. So I'm excited.
Interesting. Oh, thank you. And actually, I also found out when we were talking that you have this as like an HR coaching skills, no, coaching institute, and you have your own HR coaching certification.
Yes.
It's in English, but hopefully, maybe your goal for 2021 is to have it in Spanish, right?
Yeah. We're actually talking about piloting with Angie and Angie with your audience, Spanish only, Spanish language coach training next year. And I'm so incredibly excited. We do have, a Spanish speaking coach, a trainer. She's all pumped and excited about the opportunity. And so we're just kind of putting it together now. It's really essentially just taking the work that we've done over the last 5 years and translating it into Spanish so that it's completely Spanish language coach training. I'm really excited about extending this and opening up the opportunity to more of, my HR colleagues out there who want to and need to learn this skill. So yeah, I think we're probably looking at sometime in the first quarter of being able to partner and roll it out. So I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty sure with our help, we can also do many things great for Latin people, and we're more than eager to kind of like know about all these news that you will have for us. And actually, you've mentioned opportunity so many times, and that reminded me. That's why I decided to name my company HR Opportunity, because the main reason why when I wanted to come up with a name, I didn't know what to do. I always wanted to have the HR letters there, but I wanted to be like not a platform, like a meme, like someone like
Yeah.
can help someone else to give like an opportunity to do something else,
Yeah.
and that reminded me. I mean, this session like gives me like puts me back in 2016 when I said, maybe sometime now 2020, that actually it's happening. We're giving opportunities to people, and this program of volunteer sessions will give another opportunity to someone else, all regarding HR professions. And it's especially right now we need to be there for someone else, even though we might not know that person, and we can connect internationally with anyone and do Zoom or Meet or whatever, and do coaching, these little baby steps for coaching skills. But at least we have like this motivation to help someone, and that's really good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I really love that, Angie. And I love all that that you have done. So incredibly impressive. I'm so proud of the work that you're doing, and just keep doing it. You know, we need people like you to help advocate all across the globe. And I think what's important is that we continue to lock arms and we link up and we, you know, extend opportunities to one another so that really we eliminate some of the frustration that people have, and we just make it easier for them. I think that's what this is about. So thank you for inviting me, and for doing everything that you do. You truly are my hero and an HR powerhouse. So I'm looking
No,
forward to
I love that word. I'm going to steal that from you. No, I'm just kidding. No, thank you, Pamela. And I hope, you know, someday we get to know each other, like physically. I have my limitations to go to the US, but you can come here. I mean, Brad Wilson did, so you're more than welcome to come here. We'll meet in Mexico. I don't know. We never know what 2021 will, you know, bring us. So we're up to the challenge. Well, thank you, Pamela. Thank you for your time. See you Tuesdays on this private session that we're going to have for our HR community. And I'm very excited to do that. Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. Tomorrow is Friday, so have a nice weekend. And thank you once again and for your time, your patience, your uniqueness, your just being you. And that's how, as I said, you connected with me. Just you didn't know how important and the big impact you did to me, and now I'm pretty sure you will do the same for this HR community for Tuesday.
Well, thank you so much. It has truly been a pleasure, and good night, everyone.
Bye. Take care, Pamela.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.